Hello and welcome to Rockstar Manager. I'm Dr. K, the management professor, and this episode is about the SWOT analysis. First, please subscribe to my channel by hitting the subscribe button down below, and also hit the notifications button so you'll see each time I post a new video. SWOT stands for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Creating an honest and transparent assessment will give you the best results. And I say that because depending on who's in the room, sometimes nobody wants to call out weaknesses. In actuality, when you can honestly assess, the likelihood of turning your weakness into strength skyrockets, as does your likelihood of turning your threats into opportunities. Again, SWOT stands for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And we're going to focus on each one, and then we'll walk through an example. A couple of things to consider. Strengths and weaknesses are internal to the organization, and opportunities and threats are external to the organization. When it comes to strengths, not only do you want to identify them, you want to make sure that your updates that you initiate from this SWOT process will keep your strengths. To be sure you create a comprehensive list of strengths, you can ask some of the following questions. Do we have a well-developed business strategy to implement? How are the operations of our core competencies? In what areas do we receive the most compliments? Is our leadership developing our workforce? How is our ability to manage change and flexibility in the industry? How are the skills in our workforce? Strengths can relate to the group, to the environment, to perceptions, to processes, and to people. When it's time to identify weaknesses, be sure to focus on process rather than people. This exercise should never feel like a personal attack on anyone. It's to develop a SWOT that helps make a decision, develop a book of business, or proactively take initiative. For weaknesses, you can ask questions around workforce development, follow-ups, the quality of operations, expenses, morale, internal conflict, organizational goals, competitive advantage, strategic plans, technology platforms, or supply chain accountability. Reviewing weaknesses should not constitute an opportunity to focus on the negative, but be an honest appraisal of the way things are. Key questions include what obstacles may prevent progress, and which elements need strengthening. Opportunities are untapped areas that could benefit your organization. This component is designed to assess the socioeconomic, environmental, demographic factors, among others, to evaluate the benefits that may be brought to the table here. Examples include the availability of new technology, what is stopping us from expanding into different regions or foreign markets, can we apply R&D skills in other areas, what can we do to increase market share, what is the time frame we need to ramp up a new initiative, what does our competition look like, can we expand into new but related business markets? Threats are the opposite of opportunities, which may, with a shift of emphasis or perception, have an adverse impact. Weighing threats against opportunities is not a reason to indulge in pessimism. It is rather a question of considering how possible negative experience may be limited or eliminated. The same factors may emerge as both a threat and an opportunity. For example, information technology. Most external factors are in fact challenges, and whether the group perceives them as opportunities or threats is often a valuable indicator of morale. Questions to ask in this component include, what happens if there's an attack on our core business? Are we equipped to handle it? How do we react? Or is there a plan in place for increased competition? What happens if trends change in our core customer base? What do we do if there's a downturn in the economy or a slowdown in the labor workforce? Now that we have an idea of what makes up each of the components of SWOT, I want to walk through an example of SWOT that I did. I was helping a training and development department organize, right size, and have the ability to launch new classes in multimedia formats with limited staff. The tricky part here was that the organization recently acquired another organization with a T&D department already in place, and had yet to consolidate any materials, resources, and anything that came along with an acquisition. I'm going to simplify it for this purpose, for example purposes here, but want to be sure that you have the backstory of where this department came from and where they want to go in the future. Lastly, in this example, I use a 4-blocker format. I like this because it forces the user to be efficient with his or her words, and you can easily visualize which areas need improvement or action. Here, we'll walk through a summarized SWOT analysis that I performed for the Training and Development Department using a 4-blocker format. Strengths can relate to the group, to the environment, perceptions, to process, and to people. It's helpful to include a description or phrase rather than a word or two, so more specific action can be taken or replicated. Weaknesses. This session should not constitute an opportunity to focus on the negative, but be an honest appraisal of the way things are. Some of the key questions include what obstacles may prevent progress and which elements need strengthening. Opportunities. Assess the socioeconomic, environmental, and demographic factors, among others, to evaluate the benefits. Examples include the availability of new technology, reporting capabilities, or expanding your current audience or market share. Threats are a question of considering how possible negative experience may be limited or eliminated. The same factors may emerge as both a threat and an opportunity. For example, information technology. Most external factors are in fact challenges, and whether the group perceives them as opportunities or threats is often a valuable indicator of morale. Lastly, I'll share some quick do's and don'ts. Do be analytical and specific, establish objectives, be selective in the final evaluation, and choose the right people for the exercise. Don't try to disguise weaknesses, merely list errors and mistakes, lose sight of external influences and trends, and don't allow the SWOT to become a blame-laying exercise.